Hello everybody, it's Linda, and I wanted to come and introduce you to Piper. Piper is a little bit different for me to have created her. I've been working on her for quite a while now, a little here and a little there, and I finally got her finished, and I just couldn't wait to introduce her to you. So this is Piper. She is a professional board cover, not the heavy wood board, but the professional composite board. And she is knocking on the door right at 8 by 11 inches in diameter. And she is fabric covered with this fun, colorful cotton fabric. And it's got sort of a little, like a twill in it. It's not real smooth is what I'm trying to say, but it's like watercolored all the way. And I have sewn around the whole cover, and the spine, I think it was 2.5 inches in the spine. And here is the back, and you can see the sewing going all the way around. And let me take the sari silk off where you can see more of the cover, and I put an extra long, it wraps around twice, of this magenta sari silk, and that comes in there with her. And then here on the front, since this fabric is so fabulous, I think it's just absolutely scrumptious looking. I did one of Tim Holtz. I stained it metal numbers, and Piper's numbers is 1378, and 2 of these screws here. And so Piper has a huge assortment of 12 by 12 sheets from my stash, and a lot of cardstocks, lined papers from my porch prints, and some real large paper doilies that you're going to see. And then I even added some of my 300-pound deckled edge watercolor paper in here for you to enjoy. And then I did a lot of Tim Holtz snippet quotes throughout that you're going to see. And I'm reading over here. I did a tremendous amount of stamping, all different kinds of stamping, and fabric ribbons and fabric trim on the edges of the pages, ribbons and paper, cut out papers on the edges, which you will see. And I have 13 envelopes, attached envelopes in here that you're going to see. And then I have 30 plus regular pockets, and everything is full of ephemera, or has ephemera in it, so that you have all of those extra places to write on. And then let me see if I've covered everything. A lot of many layers on layers on layers of embellishment in here that I actually went through this journal page by page like 8 different times, adding stuff to her. So that's why I think she's so special, and I think that she is fun to look at. So whatever you're doing this morning or this afternoon or this evening, whenever you're taking a look at this video, take a few minutes, put me on pause, get yourself something to drink and enjoy, because this is going to be a little bit longer for me than normal, because I want you to see everything that's special in Piper. And she has 176 different sizes of paper that you're going to see, because she's such a big journal, and I wanted different sizes and different things of interest to catch your interest. So here we go. I'm going to open her up, and on the inside you're going to see, I did forget to tell you, I put a cotton fabric to protect the inside spine, and on the outside there is another layer of fabric that comes on the outside, protecting this part of the spine, and so you have a double layer of fabric here where it bends, because that's where it's going to get most of the usage. And every envelope, what is it, 18 did I say, 13 of different sizes of envelopes will have a sticker, a label on them, where you can write yourself a note. You can either date it or write a note of what you have added inside the envelopes. And here I have put a little vintage looking label where you can write your name and the date that you started. And this is double layered. This is a heavy cardstock underneath here, and then this is some vintage stationery with a script letter in it that you can read. I mean, it's not written that where you can't read it, but you can actually read the story that is going on here. And so, like I said, everything has something in it, and you've got this beautiful stamping, and you've got this little grommet right here. And if you open this up, you're going to have, this is stationery that I've had for a long time, and it's depicting the world and a postcard and an old typewriter, and you've got script all over it. And then you open it up and you have all of the writing space, and then you have more of the multi things going on here in the back. And it's a 1995 is when this was made out of recycled paper. So that's how long I've had it, and it just fits beautifully right in here. And then you have your little twisty thing. And then this is the 12 by 12 paper pack that you're going to see that I've covered up here, and it's just as colorful. I picked this because it's just as fun and youthful and colorful as the fabric that I put on here. I've had this fabric for a long time, and I just haven't picked it for the theme of one of my journals. But you can see the colors that I'm going after here, because you have the burgundy and the greens, and then the earth tones coming in. It's a very earthy journal. So you got a lot of these cutouts that are going to be everywhere, and then you've got this fun pocket here with a little vintage looking tag. And then this is the part of the paper edges that I've done throughout with all different kinds of paper. What I did, I have two huge boxes of scrap paper. It's really good scrap paper, and so I would just reach in as I would come to a page that I wanted to accent it, and I would cut it and put it somewhere on the edge of the paper. Now this is a cardstock, a heavy cardstock, and then this is part of the 12 by 12 paper stash that I have. And then this beautiful cream paper I have this, and I think it's a 9 by 18. And then I've done the stamping, and some of them I've edged in different colors of my distress ink. And then this has a part of an old vintage book page that I have edged in a golden color and then put on the paper. Now this is my porch prints. As you know, I love her line papers, and I love her papers, period. And so I think I've got a couple of sheets of that in here. And then this is out of one of my vintage, one of my personal old piano books. And so I have that cut off and put in here. And I put it on this huge doily, which is quite large. And then I put a tuck spot here with one of these that I don't know who that came from. This is Tim Holtz cards that I have, and I just love this couple, and it's just really vintage looking. So you have vintage, and then you have the color patterns and everything going on. I just love the way that she put herself together here. This is some silk ribbon that I have, and then a butterfly with a little rhinestone right there. And then this is part of the envelope that you're going to see on the other side that is attached, stamped, and it's got memories on it because I wanted you to be able to put in here. You can write right here what you've put in, and then the big stamp, and then it just folds right over. More stamping, more decoupaging, and then inside you're going to have this vintage postcard with writing on it. And this is, I can't see the year, but it's May 20th, and you can tell that it is a senior citizen's writing because you can always tell the writing. And then it's blank on the back, and then you have this tea-stained paper that is 28-pound tea-stained paper that I've cut and then put in there for you to take notes on. And so this is a stationery envelope. How big are these? Some of these are, that's a 7 by, so it's 5 by 7 envelope, so they're quite large. And then you have this beautiful paper backing that one. And then you have this cardstock in the lime green to continue. And then you have this vintage book page cut out here and edged and attached to this one, and another from one of my stash pages, and then some cut out here of some fun color and some stars being stamped, some little bunny rabbits, and then a little tiny doily here I actually attached to this page, and with a stamp, paper stamp that I glued on there, and stamping here. And this is part of my porch prints. And then here is the deckle edges of the I think it's a 400-pound watercolor cold press. That means it has this texture to it. It's just scrumptious looking paper. I love it, and I use a lot of this in the art that I hang on the wall. And this is this and frame. This is what I use, this type of paper. It just makes beautiful portraits or paintings or whatever you want to call it, art. I call it art. And then here is our craft paper, and you have a little decorations going on there. And then here's one of your little pockets, and it's a double layer. And here is your really vintage stained tag. And over here we have a little I love these. You're going to see a lot of this going on in this book, the diagonal pockets, and this is from an old book page. And then you have the little vintage looking tag in there, and then you have a lot of script going on in this, and it's been edged around. Now this is one of my watercolor painting backgrounds, and it's mainly different shades of gray, and it's on a real heavy hot press watercolor paper. It's 140-pound. Hot press means it's real smooth watercolor paper, and you can see and this is another one of my watercolor background pages that I have painted. These are the originals. They're not copies. These are the actual ones that I have done. I didn't ever get around to make copies, to scan it in and make copies where I could have them more, pardon me, more than one of them. But so whoever buys this has some of my originals in it. And then I have a little stamping of some birds and a little stamp going on, and then this is the center. And so here's my Irish wax linen, and I've just wrapped it around, and I put this beautiful piece of blues and everything to go along with this natural colors, earthy tones, light paper. Now you can write on everything, almost every surface in here. You can glue on them, you can do whatever your heart's desire. And here's some layering of some decoupaging of some vintage looking things. And then here is another sheet that has been edged in this royal blue distress color, and these beautiful flowers there. I've made a pocket out of that. And then inside that pocket is this hot press watercolor paper that I have cut, and then this has also been painted, watercolor painting by me, and I've stamped a little blue rose there to go with the other blue. And over here we have an earth real craft paper that I've put in here, and it is recycled paper. You can tell by looking at it, but it's very smooth. And it feels like a silky paper, but it's recycled. And here's the part of the big envelope that's going to be here on the other side, and the label where you can put in there the date or whatever it goes into this big envelope here. And this is a full length envelope, a business size envelope. I think they are pretty big, 9.5 by 4. And I've stamped on the outside, and I have stamped on the inside here, and then I have put this is just for color, part of my craft paper there. And then on the inside, this is Tracy Fox. I've had this for a while, and you open it up and you have 3 tags inside the pockets, and each one of them is blank, and all of this is from her collection. I've had this for a long time in my stash, and I've just never used them, but this is all butterflies, and so I just put that right in here. Now naturally, you know that you can take all of this out, and you can use here's some more of that tea dye coffee paper. You can take it out and you can, replace it, or you can put it elsewhere. And here's one of those decoupaged little tickets that I used in there. And here's the other side of that gorgeous watercolor paper. And it's got those, I don't know whether I said that or not, these deckled edges. And another one of my porch prints pages that has the doily and a little antique thing going on there. And here's another pocket with these flowers. I found this in my ephemera boxes, all these beautiful flowers, and so I cut them down and made these little tuck spots. And this is another one of those vintage envelopes, a copy of them. I think these are the ones I bought a whole stash of them off of eBay, and I've been trying to use them lately. And then I have this little decoupaged here and some stamping, a little glued on there. And then here's the back of another envelope, one of those 13 envelopes that are in this journal in Piper, and some lace, and then a label again. And I love the color combination of the navy and the light green, and then a little touch of the red there. And then this is the same, it's a stationary envelope, and I've decorated that, as you can see. And then on the inside, it flips right out. You have another different type of lace, another different decoupage. That's what I'm saying. I've gone through each page, as you can tell, and just layered, and I couldn't do it all at one time, so I've passed through here, like I said, about 8 times doing different things. I just couldn't quit doing things in Piper here. I was addicted to it. And here is a little bit of chocolate cake and a vanilla cake here on this little cutout there. That was just a beautiful, and this came out of my paper stash, my scrap paper, and it's just beautiful paper. I don't remember when I used it in a journal, but it is gorgeous paper. And then here I have a copy of a vintage handkerchief, a lady's handkerchief that was hand embroidered here, and I put that right there on top of this colorful thing. And then here's another huge paper doily, and I stamp this flower. And then on the other side, I put this noteworthy sheet where you can make your notes. It has 8 numbers, and you can use it as a bullet point, or 8 things that you need to do. And then over here, another one of these triangles with an old book page, and another one of Tim Holtz playing cards. Another line page. Another, you're going to see so many of these here with different things, and I'm going to show you what it all looks like whenever I'm finished on the whenever you're looking at the side of the journal. And then I put in my scrap pile was a couple of tabs, and so I put them in here, and here is some rickrack. And then here, whenever the page was just too stark white, I took the one of the distressed inks pads and smoothed it out to where it wasn't so bright. And then over here we have another antique. I love all of these antique vintage looking ephemeras. I do not know where I got them. They've been, like I said, I have boxes and boxes of cut out of ephemeras, different sizes and everything. And so here I just started going in and grabbing and working them into these pages. Here's a little flower here that I've glued down and smashed down where it doesn't really oppose, make it too bulky, which it is very bulky anyway because of everything that's in here. And another paper and another stamp. And now I'm just going to start. You see what I'm doing, and look at this paper. It's so fun, it's so bright, it's just, whenever you open this up in the morning, it's bound to make you smile. I mean, that's the way I feel about Piper, and that's why I named her Piper. Piper to me sounds like somebody that's really fun and energetic and just full of energy, and that's why Piper. That's why she's Piper. And here's this flower with this big rhinestone right there. Then over here is another large envelope, and I did a button with some accent there, and here's her label. And then I did this little girl here. This is actually a copy of a real artist. I can't remember her name right now. Prints that she sells. And here is inside of that one. I've tried to give you so many places to write. I don't know whether and then you can put things here in the back. I did not close off the back. So not only do you have this, here, let me get something. You have space for something behind the envelope. And again, another fun paper. And then a vintage ticket, some stamping underneath with some scripts in it. And then this is part of Tracy Fox's ephemera. And then this gorgeous hot pink and turquoise cardstock. And then on this side is some lace and some old vintage ticket with some string, music, and you can see what I mean now. Some script with a typewriter. And here's one of those found tabs. Some of the snippets from Tim Holtz is finally showing up. Another little stone there in that turquoise star. Some stamping ticket, little thing there. Some fun paper. This is really a fun graph paper. Another to tone it down. And then we have a part of it, one of those big business mailing envelopes here. And you have another vintage postcard. Love the colors of them. And then this is some of that watercolor 140-pound paper that I have watercolored myself, and then I cut them up to these sizes for this book. And you see the decoupaging here, the collaging. And then here's your label that whatever you put in here, you can either put a date or what's in here, and then a little stamp there, and some little corner guards was put on there. And then here's a pocket, the little tag. Here's your accent page again, a little flower, a little Tim Holtz numbers. Here we got a circle that I cut out and put a 50-cent tag on there. The stars are always shining. That was one of Tim Holtz snippets, and so I put some stars there. And then this is fabric, a scrap of fabric that I put there, and then another star, a different star with a little stone right here, the rickrack, and a number 536. And this is that beautiful it's art paper, but it's not the heavy kind, but it's got that beautiful cream color that I like so much. Another pocket, and this is Medieval Mirage, a little scrap there, and a flower. And then here's another one of my watercolor original paintings there. I love the back. It looks like that, you know, somebody just smushed that watercolor paint in there. And then here I have some lace, and here's your label for this envelope that you're going to see. And then here is Challenge the World snippet, and then part of that antique, that real vintage old piano paper of mine, and then just wrapped it around the corner, and then some beautiful cream lace, and then a paid and stamp and stamp, and I mean it just goes on and on and on, doesn't it? Then look over here, I have the vintage book. Can you see that? Am I out? Yeah, there you go. A vintage paperback book, a hardback book, and some layered that up. And then inside here you have, you see how big that is that's coming out of there? This script. It's like the script that's on the inside, but it's a different coloration, and it's a different company, but it's a script letter, and I just cut that up where it would fit right in here. You have to get it right in these thingies here. There you go. And there's that. And then you have the burgundy that offsets that khaki, and then more of the burgundy, and another little collaged circle there. And this is another one of my original watercolor paintings. And here is one today is worth two tomorrows snippet. And then you have this silk again, and some black lace on this little thing. And again, look at those flowers. They're just so vivid and beautiful. And then I did a little tiny tag here, and some stamping. You know whose paper that is. And then another little tag here that has the numbers. I love numbers in labels. And I love these things that look like vintage little tickets of some kind. And then I did that over some colored paper. And then here's some more music. And then here is the other side of that big envelope that you saw on the other. And I made this one a double pocket with this postcard, and put this little booklet in there. And here's your label that you can write on with whatever you put in here, or the date that you used it. I did some stamping here on the back and put another pocket little slide pocket in there, and then inside we have something that you can write on, and I brought some extra postcards that I'm going to put in there. This one is like a little booklet that I wanted to add in here to give you more stuff to write on, and then some stamping all the way on this one just to cut down that whiteness of it. And then here's that fun graph paper again. And then we have another envelope coming on this beautiful craft paper, and we've got the lace and everything going on. And then we have a little corner pocket with this postcard. These postcards are a gorgeous color, all of them. They're very vintage looking. And then we have, I knew I had forgotten some of them, so I'm going to put this postcard in there. There you go. And I left this one, I wanted to leave some blank that you could write on, or you could practice your own collaging. There's so many places in this journal that you can do that. And then on the other is a little top-notch pocket, and then this old world map here that has been water stained on the back. I took them and then I did some of my extra watercolors and put them on the back of it. And actually this right here is a piece of paper that I actually tried a couple of years ago to make my own paper, and this is part of what I have left of that paper. And these are hand-drawn lines on my paper that I did years ago. And here's another one. I don't think I have any. I might have maybe one of these left. And this is a beautiful script with a boat and a, looks like an old photograph of San Francisco Bridge. You see all of the places that you have to journal or to do whatever. I mean, these large pages, this gives you so much space and so many places that you can do things with. And here is another one of Tracy Fox's little fold outs. I cut one side off where I can just have two here, and you have one of her tags here, and then you have three little rectangles with different pictures on it that fits right in here. And then this is another one of those colorful pages that is just so much fun. And then I had a yellow rickrack, and I put this baby blue and these stars on here, and then that yellow sparkly thing there that you can see. And now this is a larger envelope, as you can see, than the 5x7s. A lot of stamping, and then this lace here, and a label, and this is a vintage stamp. I bought a lot of old original stamps that have been used. You can see the mark right here on it from this man on eBay. And I've never pulled them out yet, but now I've started using them here with PIPER. And then on this side of the envelope you have a vintage tag, and I put some string on it, and you have that. And then inside you have some of the tea-dyed 4x6 cardstock index cards. Here, you've got 3 of them. And you've got all this room here. And then you have this crosswood puzzle paper, which I thought was cute. And then this nice, this is heavy cardstock. Another Tracy Fox's 3 little inserts here. This is the other side of the one that just had 2 on it. Fell in love with her at once is the snippet down there. Little things, another little stamp. And then what I have here is, this is Medieval Mirage's page that I had. You know, her sheets are small, and I put this little decoupage this on there, but it opens up and you can write inside. I edged it, and then I left it open in the back, and I put this more of these in there, the tea stain cardstock 4x6 cards, and then you have this space to write in. And then I trimmed it with this green ribbon. And then on this side is another one. This is Tim Holtz's. It comes out of an 8x8 book that I had, and I made it into a pocket. And then another one of these vintage. You can see where it's like it's real old, but they put it on another of a painted page. And then on the back, I sprayed the backs, and not sprayed, but I splattered it with my watercolor. And then I added that little ticket there to give us some color. And this is vintage 128639. And like I said, this is so much in this book, I just didn't want to flip through and not tell you about all of it. I love the stars. This is vintage Mirage, medieval Mirage right here. Stamping, edging. She whispered it softly under the stars. That's why all of the stars is, because that's what this little snippet says. And isn't this pretty? These colors are just gorgeous. And I made a little tuck spot there with this little cardstock. And then we have a bag, a black bag with a label, and then you have a butterfly, an abstract painting behind it on this cardstock. And then you have some collaging there. And then I have this trim on this. This is more of my watercolor original paper. You have actually, I think it's 3 sheets of each. 3 big sheets of this one in the gray tones, pardon me, and 3 of the smaller sheets in the earth tone. But you can see it's heavy enough, it doesn't even bend or anything whenever you put something of this weight on it. And I just added these, and then on this one I added this fabric, a little flower, and a stamp. And then on the inside of this has a fold out that you can, it goes like this. There you go. Let me see, get it in there. Yeah. You can write here on the center, naturally, but then you can close it up like that. It's so cute. And again, this is so heavy. This is a 300-pound paper, watercolored paper. And then this beautiful decoupage, and here, the paper. And then another one of my favorite type of, but here I've started stamping a flower where it just sort of sneaks out. And then this saying that you can read, really a good saying here on this card. But you can see the colors, how my watercolors dripped. There's such detail in these that it really doesn't really show of my art background pages until you get them right in where you can look at them. An old book page that I made it look like it was burnt, and then put some of Mirage, medieval Mirage here on the top with the label on the other side of the bag, black bag. And here you have another booklet. The earth has music for those who listen. I tried to put things all the way through here that really means something to me, and hopefully it means something to the owner of this of Piper, and then I decoupaged here on the back. And this is a ribbon, a twill type ribbon, a cotton ribbon that I put here, and it has the Handmade, and it has the different butterflies on it. That's why I said it takes so long, because I just didn't want you to that's a cardstock of that watercolor paper, to be able to flip through and miss all of the little details in Piper. I spent way too many hours on her. Look at this flower. Isn't that beautiful, right up against this yellow, this pale yellow, the navy, and the fuchsia here, and then that big rhinestone. And here we have a white business envelope with a larger label and another fuchsia star, which and then we have a pocket on the inside of this one with another fold out, and then inside the pocket we have another one of those stationary fold outs, and naturally we have these three beautiful stars. Can you see that? Yeah. And then I edged it all in the royal blue. Didn't edge everything. I just wanted to edge to accent certain things, which you'll see whenever you get this, whenever you have Piper in your hands. And then like this right here. And then we have that. Give you these where you can cut them up, you can write on them, you can cut them up and glue them wherever you want them. It's just a lot of things that you can do with whenever I insert these watercolor papers. And then here's your bullet points again. This one has 10 places on it. Then in this one you have another one that has another 10, noteworthy card, and you have another fold out with a little just skip my mind, you know how it is, paper on the back. There it is anyway, but I went for it for that. And it says, if you truly love nature, you will find beauty everywhere. And we're almost finished, so hang in there with me. I know it's been a long one, but she's a big book that is just full of, and I saved that big rose right there. And then this is fabric, a royal blue fabric, since I've been using this color throughout Piper, and I love it with this yellow polka dot here. And then you have another pocket with, and you have an old receipt here, and then you have another, and adopt the pace of nature, her secret is patience. And that is the back, which is the same as the front, the same script, the same layering of the heavy burgundy cardboard there. And then you have this big pocket with the label, and inside this pocket you have, I think it's just a big hand torn piece of tracing paper. And then naturally I left this here because it is open in the back, so you can put something in the back of the envelope. So I did want to show you, and here is this ribbon. As you know, Sari Silk sheds and sheds and sheds. Here is Piper from the side view here, where you can see all of the different levels of the papers and the additions, you know, the edging on the papers and everything that she has. And here is the top and the bottom. See, I don't mind that things are out. That's what I wanted. I wanted her to be a little grungy, but I wanted it to be a really fun journal type while I'm talking to you. But I hope you enjoyed her, and she'll be up on Etsy. And I do have some big news about a move coming soon, and I've been working, my husband and I have been working diligently on something different, and I'll be discussing that move and showing that what we're doing soon, I hope. It takes a long time to do something like that, but I will give you a little hint. We are now llcreationstudio.com, and that will be being put into use very soon. I hope. It takes time to build certain things, as if you know what I'm talking about. But right now, this is going to go up on Etsy. I'm running a huge sale on Etsy. I'm trying to do a clearance sale. I call it a clearance sale. Everything is 50 to 70% off. It's been running now for several weeks, and I've had a lot of success with it. But there's still some good ones left. Now she's going up. Piper's going up. Several weeks ago, I put up Cody, and whenever I put up things brand new, they're not going to be on sale. But Cody went the same day that I put her out there, and Piper is not going to be on sale. She's going to be worth every penny for somebody that's going to enjoy her. So thank you for watching, and thank you for sharing, and I want to thank all my new customers on my Etsy shop. I hope that you're watching YouTube's, and if you are, please subscribe, because I know I've picked up this past week 4 or 5 brand new customers to my Etsy shop, but I don't think they're subscribing to my YouTube. But they're coming in from somewhere, but I don't know. But I appreciate every one of you, and thank you so much for your business, and have a great, safe day. Bye-bye.